So what I want to talk about today is I want to talk about divorce. If any of you watched my farewell friends and family video that I did, I don't know, a while back, I took a break from YouTube and I made a video just kind of spilling my guts a little bit and letting you guys know what I was thinking. But divorce, is something that I've gone through. I'm married now, but this is actually my second marriage. I'm hoping that I can kind of give you an adult perspective or my perspective to let you know maybe what your mom and dad are thinking or what they were thinking if you've ever gone through a divorce in your family. Now, it's a terribly, terribly hard thing to go through. There is no script for it. There's no planning behind it. It's extremely, extremely difficult. I come from a family that doesn't know divorce. My mother has 6 sisters. My brother has a couple of brothers, and there's no divorce anywhere to be seen. That's just not something that's done. So when I knew that I was going to have to go through it, I felt like such a failure. I really did. Here I am married with a 2-year-old child, and I can't make this relationship work. And it was scary. It was really scary. Now, when the divorce was getting to the point where we're going to go to court and stuff, I know many people will often ask, why didn't I fight for custody? Well, the way I was raised was, and I don't know if I still believe this 100%, but the way I was raised was, there's nobody more important than the mother. My dad used to tell me, nobody's more important than your mother, not me, not anybody. Never disrespect your mother, or never let anybody else disrespect your mother. So when it was time for the divorce, I remembered that, and I thought, no matter what, my 2-year-old daughter needs to spend more time with her mother than with me. So I made it so I saw my daughter, every weekend from Friday through Monday. And it was so hard, man. It was a hard decision to make. And it really affected me when my daughter wasn't with me during the week at the beginning, because I was not performing well at work. I wasn't eating well. I wasn't sleeping well. I just was down in the dumps. And I had to make one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make in my life. And that was, when my daughter wasn't with me, I decided I could not think about her at all. And that was, it sounds terrible to say, but I had to make sure that I was okay. So when I had my daughter, I would be in the correct frame of mind to be able to take care of her. And if the day ever came where she wanted to come and live with me, that I was financially stable enough and had a good enough job and all that to take care of her. So it was always kind of looking at the future. Now, how any of this can help you is that I know there's a lot of situations where maybe you're just with your mom and you've never seen your dad, or your dad's not around very much, and all that stuff. And I always wanted to make it like, I heard those stories. I heard stories of kids waiting for their father or mother to pick them up and them never showing up, and what a heartbreaking situation that is. I never wanted my daughter to be in that situation. So I always financially supported her since the minute she walked out the door, from the minute my ex-wife walked out the door. And I always made sure that I was exactly on time picking up my daughter and dropping her off. And that went on for 14 years until my daughter recently came to live with me. Or 15 years, I should say. And it was hard at times. At times I had zero money to put even gas in my car. And it was just me and my daughter would watch TV together on weekends, because I didn't have much money to do anything else. And we were just like best of friends, and it was a beautiful time, because as I was divorced longer and longer, it had been like a year or 2 in, I started to realize that me and my daughter's relationship would never have been what it is if I was still married. Because when I was married, I was pretty unhappy, and I would do everything to try to avoid confrontation, which meant at times avoiding even my daughter, because I didn't want to fight. So I would try to avoid her mother, and it just wasn't a good situation. And now that I think back on it, it's probably the best thing that could have ever happened. I did have those moments where my daughter would cry to me and say, I want you and mommy to be together. I remember when we all used to be together, and it's heartbreaking to hear her say that. It really, really is. But there is positives in it too. There is that hopefully you have 2 parents that still are active and want to see their children. And we were both pretty good parents. And I used to worry all the time, how is my daughter being treated? My ex-wife would go through a couple of boyfriends here and there, And, I wanted to say so badly, I wanted to call them, the men in my ex-wife's life, and say, you better fucking treat my daughter right, man, or else you're going to have problems, dude. But I could never say that, It was always a thought in my head would be, that's what I wanted to say. But I was always very nice, because I always thought in the back of my mind, maybe if I'm nice to this man, he'll be nicer to my child. And I always would ask my daughter about different people that entered her life. Do you like him? Is he a good guy? And usually she would say yes. And she's like, do you like him, Daddy? I go, I like whoever you like, honey. And that's kind of the way our life went. But understand that if you're going through this, that your parents are people too. And for them to make you happy, they have to be happy. And that's kind of my thought process behind the whole thing. Is that I knew that even though me and my daughter's mother weren't together, that we had an obligation to make sure that my daughter was hopefully happy and as successful and could be as successful in the future as we want her to be. We had to let all the emotion and all the anger go away. And eventually it does. It takes a long time, but it does go away. So if you're in the middle of a possible divorce, maybe, I hope not. I hope your parents stay together forever. I know mine have been together for over 40 years. So I don't know, what it's like to have to be a child and live in that environment. It can't be great, but it's not the end of the world sometimes. Sometimes it's for the better. And, yeah. So this has been Serious Drama. Be kind, be good, be safe. I'm out.